Hey, welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about Diablo like dungeon generator. And I just this is my folder containing all of the shots, the fake records I tried to record before recording the live we are on. And as you can see, sometimes randomly it's actually recording the video as the 3-4 video. So I'm not sure what triggers that. So you can imagine that all of these videos, I tried to record them the same way. And it randomly recorded that one in 4:3 format, so resolution, so I don't know why. So I'm going to close that. So in this video, we're going to see how we can improve our tile creation workflow using that plugin, Prefab tool by Marinate. By no means am I affiliated to Marinate. I don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry. He's one pretty active developer, and I think his work is quite a useful addition to the Unreal generic workflow. So I think it's really worth mentioning his name, Marinate. So if you choose to buy the plugin, once you added it to your editor, make sure to go to Editor Preferences, go to Prefab tool in there, and go to Update. Where do we want to go there? Support generate blueprint. You want to check that, and you want to hit Control S to save. And then you want to go back to your map and you want to delete everything. Like that. I said everything. Yes, all. Everything. Yes, all. Everything. It doesn't want to delete that. I don't know why. I want to show them and I want to delete them. Alright, like that. Then I want to add my light scenario. And we are going to work with Prefab tool now, and everything is going to be better. So we're going to create a new folder, which is going to be called Prefab Env tiles. No, we're not going to do that. We are actually going to create that folder in our Diablo Dungeon Generator folder. This is going to be Env tiles, like that. And then what do we want to do? We actually want to recreate the floor like we did in our previous video, but it's going to be much more efficient after that. So we want to grab our environment folder. We want the floor, and we are actually going to grab that, not that one, that one. So I want that to be at 0, 0, 0. Like that. But first I'm going to grab a blocking volume, and I'm going to make that the size of our tile, 3,500, 3,500. I'm sorry. I'm going to put that in the middle of our tile at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to grab the environment, the floor I have, and I'm going to duplicate that. We have 6 of them. I want 7 of them. And then I'm going to duplicate them like that. So that's not efficient in terms of we have a lot of static meshes collapsed in the same place. Maybe you want to use instanced static meshes. That's better for performance wise. So this looks like I'm going to make the blocking volume 500 or 200. 2000, I mean, like that. Can we make that a little? Okay, can we add material to that? No, we cannot. All right. So this is our tile, the size of our tile. And we are going to add walls to that once again, like in our previous video. But once more, it's going to be much faster once we are done with the process. So I want to find out where the north is, so it's there. So I want to grab that. I'll put a wall once more. So I should not have deleted everything, but that's okay in the map, because I could have just reused what we had created previously. So I want to duplicate that. I want to move that here like that. Then I want to use the fences, the railing we found. If I'm not mistaken, that was in our miscellaneous folder. Yep, it was there. I'm going to use the bigger ones because I was failing to see them when I was playing. So I want to have a lot of them. Obviously, I want that to be the wall, which prevents the player from falling on the east side. And I want to duplicate that. And after that, this is going to be our basic tile layout. We're going to drag and drop whenever we want to create a tile, and everything is going to be easy. So if we hit save, we can now create the folder I wanted us to create in our previous video. So level design, and we're going to have the system folder. We're going to move the blocking volume, not the blocking volume. The blocking volume is going to go in our level design folder, light scenario in the system, and then everything else is going to go in our level design. And we're going to select everything and then the blocking volume. Then we're going to go in our Diablo dungeon generator env tile. This is going to be called Prefab 2. We're going to go there. We're going to create two folders, one called Prefabs and another one called env tiles. And in the Prefab folder, we're going to right click Prefab. This is going to be called tile draft tile, like that. And we can safely delete them. We can drag and drop draft tile, put that at 0, make sure so it's properly centered. And we're going to see how we can create, we are going to create a northern start tile based from that layout. So when you want to create a tile, you just drag and drop your draft tile. And then what do? You move the draft tile to the level design folder. You just select the draft tile and press delete. And it's going to delete the prefab and let everything else. So I said we want the start tile to be open on the north. Okay, we can just delete that. And we can add whatever we want using built-in Unreal tools and scene tools. So you can use Alt drag, use KP end to move stuff on the floor. I'm not sure why it's not working. Oh, that's because of the blocking volume. So we want the blocking volume. So we spotted a bug in our prefab, in our tile draft. So we can I just want to remove everything. And I actually failed in our framework, or else. So we'll see how we should be working. So I'm going to open up another content browser because I'm tired of fighting all the time with my folders. I want to be in my Diablo dungeon generator. In my Prefab tool folder, in my Prefab folder, I have my draft tile. I want to drag and drop the draft tile in there. I want to put that in 0, 0, 0. And then what I want to do is select, make sure, so if you try to select the blocking volume, you cannot, because the prefab is locked in there. You can unlock it. Then you can select the blocking volume. You can make that no collision, have no collision. Then you can select the draft tile, hit apply to make sure the prefab stored the modification you applied. Then you can move the prefab to the level design folder. You can delete the prefab. You can select everything. Create a new prefab with that. This is going to be PFB for prefab. Start tile north 01. We're going to check if that's the proper naming convention we used for the rest. BP start and 01. So we want that naming convention. PFB start and 01. Do we have a redirector? No, we don't. Perfect. I checked if we had redirectors like this. So this is our, we can delete that and we can move our start tile in there, move that. So now we can work on our start tile. So we can unlock it, we can make sure it's not connected. If it's connected and if we don't hit apply often enough, we can find ourselves closing our editor and restarting it with the prefab connected. And when we open the map and the prefab is connected, it's automatically being refreshed with the version of your prefab that is stored in your content browser. So if you fail to hit apply the last time you modified that prefab on that map, the browser version of your prefab won't have its modification, and opening your map will erase the work you've done the previous time you worked. So make sure when you drop the prefab, you uncheck connected so you can work on the prefab. So we want that to be our northern tile, so we're just going to delete that. We're going to add a bunch of stuff. We don't care much about what we add. It's just for the sake of demonstrating what you can do. So I can add that if I want to. And then I can add a statue, let's say, and another statue. And then I don't know, a volcano. So everything I added was added outside of my prefab. So what I want to do is move all of that in the prefab folder. So that's a bit inconvenient sometimes, but you just want to close the prefab and move that. So everything is in the prefab now. You want to connect it, you want to hit apply, you want to unconnect it. Actually, you now want to generate a blueprint. So now, first we want to move our encounters. We want to add a bunch of events in there. So we are going to imagine this might be a generic tile you are working on. So you actually we want to add gizmo to that. So where did we put our gizmos? We added them to our system. So this is the start tile, but we actually want to put enemies there. So we're going to add a gizmo. This is going to be an enemy with a small box, an enemy encounter with a small box. and we're going to say there are 2 enemies box, and actually this is going to be an NPC because enemies are not going to spawn since it's the beginning of the level, and we are multiplying the number of enemies by the amount of cells to start, and we're going to be in the start tile, and the start tile has 0 cells to start, so it's not going to spawn any enemy in there. But in there we want to spawn a reward. So I added a bunch of gizmos to our tile, and I want to drag and drop them to my prefab. So they are added to the prefab. Then I want to hit apply, and then I want to generate the blueprint. What it is going to do? It has better view. So we added the encounter in the scene editor, whereas in the previous video we added the encounter and the gizmo, I mean, in our blueprint editor, and it was a pain in the ass to add the gizmo. And now with Prefab tool, it's easy to add the encounters. So because I just have to drop them, and when we use the button generate blueprint in there, it's actually generating a blueprint with a child actors with the proper values stored. Whereas if we generate a blueprint using that with, I'm sorry, oh, what happened there? Oh, I'm not sure what happened. It bugged hard. So if I'm hitting convert selected components to blueprints, and if I'm selecting blueprints in there, it's actually not creating them in the blueprint, whereas using generate blueprint it does. So I can hit that, go to my Diablo dungeon generator, prefab tool, F tiles, and I want that to be BP start N1 and remove blueprint in the end, like that. And I want to call that env start N1. I want to create blueprint. So now I got a blueprint with all the stuff I created. If I select the child actor BP gizmo, I can see that's a reward, and it has a box, and this is an NPC, it has a box, and the enemy as well. And now we can go to our start tile, opening on the north, and say that it has a child actor, and that child actor is actually the env start we just created, env start N1. Okay, so the blueprint it created is not centered, so that's unfortunate. So maybe we can fix this by, so as you can see here, the blueprint it created is not centered. So we are just going to select that prefab, and so the pivot point of that prefab is there. So that's kind of unfortunate, and we want it to be there, to be in the middle of there. But if I'm not mistaken, our draft tile is properly centered. So I just failed when I generated the other blueprint. You want to use the button destroy hierarchy when you want to destroy a prefab. So I want to recenter. I want to move everything in the blocking volume, and I want to recenter the blocking volume compared to the prefab. Like that, almost good. Perfect. And I want to move everything out of the blocking volume, and I want to hit update blueprint, and I want to hit apply. I want to hit save. I want to go back to our tile, and our tile is properly centered now. I want to go to our class defaults, and I want to say that this tile is not using modular pieces. I want to hit compile, hit save. And where Prefab tool really shines is when you have to actually update the tile you created. In the previous video, we created our BP environment start tile, and if we want to update that tile, we actually have to update it directly in its blueprint, and it's a hell of a mess to update stuff in there. And with Prefab tool, what you can do is simply, once you've linked the tiles like we've just did, so if I'm getting our northern start tile, we actually said our northern tile was using a child actor environment start tile N1. If I'm going to that blueprint, it's there. It's called env start N1. And that blueprint is actually tied to that prefab start N1. So if whenever I want to update that tile, I can just drag and drop the prefab start N1, put that wherever I want. It doesn't matter. And now I want to delete the volcano, so I just need to unlock the prefab. I want to delete the volcano and the statue. And I also don't like that stair, so I'm going to move that in here. And I want to duplicate that. I want another reward and another one. And then I can just hit. Oh, interesting. So the prefab lost the connection to its blueprint, and I don't know why. If I'm saying update blueprint, it doesn't work. So that's kind of unfortunate. So I think I know why it does this. So I need to find the blueprint in there. The blueprint is BP env start N1. I want that blueprint. I want to apply the prefab. I want to update the blueprint. And then I want to make sure if I delete the hierarchy of that prefab, and then if I move it back, okay, so it's losing the connection to its blueprint, so that's kind of unfortunate. But I think it's a bug, and it should not be doing that. But if we go back to our tile, it effectively updated it. So think of it as you just have to drop the prefab, modify stuff, and hit update blueprint, and you're done with it. You don't have to reselect the generated blueprint each time. So we have our tile, our northern tile. We can just say that we can get rid of the prefab now. We can just say that our level, we're going to put a level generator there. We're going to say this is at 0, 0, 0. We're going to add a player start, which is at 0, 0, 0 as well. And we want that in our system folder. And we want the level generator to be 3, 5, and we want it to spawn a northern tile, a northern start tile. We want to hit play. And what's wrong? Why is it spawning a tile? Okay, I know why. That's once again because it's using the level board, and we don't want it to use the level board. We want to hit play. So it's generating our southern tile. Interesting. Quite interesting. Why is it spawning our southern tile, whereas we specifically asked for the northern start tile direction? It should be spawning the tile. Oh, that's quite strange actually, if we are asking for an eastern one. It's actually, that's quite strange. That's spawning the right tile. Okay, I think I understand what's going on. Or do I? So we actually built, so did we tell the, yep, we tell that not to use the modular pieces. That's quite strange. I'm not sure what's going on. So when I'm hitting play, it's spawning a northern tile, but not with the right rotation. We actually never had that bug. I'm not sure how Prefab tool could create that bug. I really don't think the bug comes from that, but I cannot be sure. The level generator, so this is connected towards the north. If I'm making sure, so we cannot see for sure it's connected towards the north because all of the modular pieces are still activated, and they are preventing me from seeing what's going on. So we can see our start tile is properly set up. I'm not sure what's wrong. If I'm opening up the other tile we set up with the blueprint feature, the start, I'm going in our viewport. I don't see the difference between the two, but there must be one, or else everything should be working properly. So if I'm saying I want a northern connection, the tile is the right one and we do not have problem, it's correctly rotated. But if I'm asking for an eastern connection, it does nothing. That's quite strange, actually. But it doesn't matter. That will be. I'm going to fix the. We're going to fix the bug in the next video. You can see Prefab tool is working. It's spawning the tile with the setup with the static meshes we set up. So this is a better way to a better framework for our work, for our level design workflow. And I just realized what was wrong. So the env tile, the environment tile we are using, so the child actor of the northern tile vanished. What happened there? So we do not have a child actor in our northern tile anymore. I'm not sure what happened. So if I'm opening up all of our start tile, this is our southern tile, correct? We did not modify that one, correct? We did not modify that one, correct? And okay, where is the child actor now? So it fails. I cannot, I don't know why I cannot select it. I don't know what's going on, guys. So the child actor is there, but I cannot select it. So I'm just going to go to our env tile folder. I'm going to open up the env start like that. I'm going to hit compile. I'm going back to our northern tile. Okay, I'm not sure where is the environment tile. It's nowhere. And if I delete that component, I'm really not sure what's going on. I'm going to restart the project. So there's a bug in Unreal 4. The tile is not. So what's going on? Yep, thank you. So the tiles displays the blueprint properly, the child actor properly, but I cannot select it, and it doesn't appear in my hierarchy. So we expect that the restart has fixed the bug, but that's kind of a wishful dream. I'm afraid the project might not open just because of that environment start style. Because maybe the blueprint fails to compile or something like this. And maybe we'll have to delete the blueprint to start the project. But since we went as far as 90%, I think we can safely assume it's going to open up. So this is kind of the main thing I wanted to show you. The fact that you can drag and drop prefab, update them, link them to your start tile and stuff like this. And it's actually quite a better setup for a better environment setup workflow. So the child actor reappeared, we can select it, fine. We can open up the environment tile and it says it's static, we want to make that movable. We want to hit compile, we want to hit save. And now if we say our level generator spawns a northern tile, I think it's going to work. So okay, the direction bug has nothing to do with the rotation bug. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying I want it to be south, it's always going to be the same to the east. So it's still bugging. It's telling me that the child actor is not, it's static. Everything is static, it's telling me. So if I'm opening up our start tile, our environment tile, I can pick, oh, so it created child actors for each static mesh. So that's not how it's supposed to behave. That's not how it's supposed to behave. It's supposed to behave, it's supposed to create static mesh components, not child actors components. So I'm not sure what happens there. But in any case, I need to make all of them movable, and the default in root as well. I want to hit compile, hit save, hit play, and then it can rotate properly, I suppose. No, it cannot. How strange. So maybe I also need to say in there that the child actor is movable, but it is. So I'm really unsure of what's going on. BP mstart cannot attach. It's telling me that one of the thing is still static, and I don't know how it can still be static. Since I said it was movable, I picked everything and I said it was movable. I'm really not sure why. So there is definitely something going on. But I think that's just a bug of Prefab tool. So I think it's going to wrap up the video anyway. The logic is there. There are just bugs that I think should be fixed in future in a week or so. So that's not a problem. We're going to fix the orientation bug in the next video. And in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.